posting new videos each week all about my art as well as the art world.
Now is the time to take action because there is no alternative. And
Introducing new artists, shows and exhibitions.
from Thursday until the start of December, you must stay at home.
Think of this channel as a window into the art world. The art world.
You must stay at home. You must stay at home. You must stay at home.
Sorry, man. Hi team, welcome to another video. Yes, it is lockdown 2.0, which means that we have escaped down to the countryside. I'm not able to paint, and my plan for the videos that we're going to come out of this month is in the bin. But it's not the end of the world because I get to spend more time with my beautiful wife, my little boy.
Sorry.
Now this week I'm going to answer the question, why is art so expensive? Now, obviously art, like anything else, is subject to market forces of supply and demand, and so as an artist becomes more popular and their art gets bought by more people, the demand goes up and the supply goes down, therefore the price increases. Not impressed by that answer. I want to look at why even the most affordable art is still relatively expensive. And to do that, I'm going to show you by breaking down how much an artist will actually make from selling a painting. And at the end, I'm going to tell you how you can make buying art more affordable. But first, someone's getting a bit restless, so Barnaby, do you want to watch a cartoon? Yeah! Tell me this. Have you ever been walking down the street, minding your own business, having a jolly nice time, when you've noticed a gallery at the corner of your eye and you thought, hey, I'm an adult, maybe I should get rid of the Matrix Reloaded poster I've had since I was 13 and actually get some proper art to put on my walls. So you've gone into the nice, shiny, beautiful gallery and you're looking around thinking, yeah, there's some really nice things here, oh yeah, this is lovely. And at the corner of your eye, you've noticed a painting that you really like. You spot the painting and you think, I really like this is going to match my sofa really, really well. I wonder how much it's going to be. So you see the sales assistant and you go over to ask her a question. She's very beautiful, she's very seductive and charming. You ask her, you say, excuse me, how much is the painting over there? And she says to you, oh, that's £12,000. And you think to yourself, how on earth is that £12,000? I can't afford that. I thought it was going to be £100. So you say, okay, what about this limited edition print over here? Thinking, I've got a printer at home, it can't be that expensive, can it? And she says to you, that's much more affordable, that's only £750. And you can't work it out, you're thinking, why is this so expensive? Who is the artist? Am I getting ripped off? What is going on? I hope you enjoyed that little animation. I haven't actually made it yet, but I'm assuming it looked pretty amazing, something akin to a Disney Pixar movie. No. I mean, how hard can it be to animate a cartoon? Anyway, maybe that story felt slightly familiar to you if you've ever tried to buy art and been shocked at how expensive it is. But what I want to do is break down the cost to you so you understand why art is priced the way it is. Now, I'm not talking about super high-end investment art, the things like the Banksys and the Picassos that go for millions and millions and millions of pounds. Partly because, well, I don't really understand it, and also because it's unlikely that you are going to be buying a Picasso or a Banksy anytime soon. Sorry to break it to you. What I wanted to talk about is the commercial art world. Paintings and sculptures which are expensive but aren't going to cost more than your house. Let's take, for example, an artwork that costs £3,000. Now, I realise £3,000 is a lot of money. For a lot of people, that might be a whole month's salary, or even more. So I want to break down why it is that a painting could cost this much money. First things first, you need to get rid of the sales tax. Now, in the UK, that's VAT, which is 20% of the cost of the item. So you sort of need to work backwards, but if the artwork is £3,000, you need to reduce the price by a sixth. This is getting very mathematic, but it means that the original price of the artwork was £2,500. The VAT is 20%, £500, which makes the sale price of the item £3,000. So straight off the top, £500 has gone to the taxman. By the way, the taxman does very well out of paintings. With the remaining £2,500, the gallery will take a 50% commission. Now that's pretty standard, it does vary a little bit, but that's a general rule of thumb in the art world. In return for this, they're selling the work for the artist, which the artists themselves might not be able to do, but it also gives the artist more time to create more artwork, or make YouTube videos. If an artist's in a really good gallery, it can actually add to the value of their artwork just by being in association with that gallery. So although it seems like a large amount of money for the gallery to take, it's well worth it if that relationship with the artist is good. Not only are they bringing in the sales, they're also freeing up time for the artist to be doing other things. So after the 50% taken by the gallery, the artist is left with £1,250 in this case, which is still not bad. It's a lot of money for a lot of people, but there's still further costs to take into account. The big one is the framing of the artwork. Bespoke framing is very time consuming, and so there's a large cost associated with it. To get a regular painting framed can cost around £150 to £200. Of course, it depends on the size of the artwork or what it is you're framing, if there's special requirements needed, and often artists will have those. But however much it is, it's going to be a sizable chunk of money, and most galleries will expect your work to be framed when you send it to them. Another big cost has been buying pre-made stretch canvases, which is why I stretch all my canvases myself. I use a super lightweight, really refined linen canvas which I get through Jackson's Art Supplies, which, don't forget, you can get 10% off your first order from using the link in the description below. #ad. The next cost to consider is the transportation of the artwork. You can't just throw a painting in a cardboard box and send it off. It needs to be specially packaged and well protected, because if you get any damage to the frame or the artwork, it's either going to ruin the whole thing or it's just going to be sent back to you and you have to spend the money getting it framed all over again. It's also worth considering that this cost might need to be repeated a few times if a painting moves a number of times around different galleries. Also, each time you're having it transported, you need to think about the insurance cost of that transportation. The last thing the delivery company wants is for the £3,000 painting to be damaged and then to be liable for the cost of it. So every time you move it, you either have to risk that or pay insurance to get that risk covered. So ideally, you want to move a painting around as fewer times as possible. The next cost is quite an obvious one. It's the disposable materials that you're using when creating that artwork. That's things like paint brushes and oil paints, or anything you might be using to create the artwork. Both oil paints and brushes are notoriously expensive, and so the costs quickly add up if you're using a lot of paint or getting through a lot of paintbrushes. There's other things to consider as well though, things like solvents, oils, varnish, pots, cleaning products. All this stuff is things that artists use on a regular basis and regularly need replacing. And again, they're all available through Jackson's Art Supplies if you do want to get 10% off that first order. So that's most of the costs associated with creating one artwork. But then you've also got to take into consideration your monthly running costs. Things like your studio rent, website, insurance, bills for your phone, your internet, any subscriptions you might have to Artist Network, things like photo editing software, stock photo subscriptions. All these different things are things that artists regularly have to pay for on a monthly basis, and they can add up really quickly. This is when it's helpful if you're doing a lot of paintings each month. The effective price per painting of these monthly costs goes down. But if you're doing 1 or 2 paintings each month, then this can have quite a big impact on the profits you'll have from each painting. There's also a couple of other things to consider, such as the cost for paintings going wrong. It's not something you can really factor into each painting, but there's always the chance that you're going to be working on a painting for several weeks and you're just not going to be able to get it finished. For whatever reason, the painting doesn't work and it goes in the bin. And the risk of that happening is a factor you have to cost into every painting that you do finish. There's one more cost to consider, and that is the cost of not knowing when that painting or that artwork is actually going to sell. Obviously, you hope that it's going to sell really quickly, but it could take months or even years to be bought by a customer, especially when galleries are shut around the country. But it means that you have to save. From every painting that does sell quickly, you have to put some money aside because you never know how long it's going to take before the next one is bought. So it's not technically a cost, but it is something you really need to factor in when selling paintings or living as an artist. You just don't know when that's going to be. So there you have it. That's pretty much all the costs that I can think of off the top of my head that will be associated when selling an artwork. So the final figure, I don't know what it's going to be in this example, I'll probably have it on the screen here or here, somewhere like that, is a much more accurate representation of what an artist is going to be getting from a £3,000 painting. Of course, there is one final thing to consider with this, and that is, of course, tax. Yes, the tax man got the first cut with the VAT and he gets the last cut too. Once you get your profit after all these costs are taken off, that is then your income, which is then taxable. Whether you are self-employed or a limited company, you're going to be paying a further 20 to 30%, possibly even more, on this income. So I wanted to finish by talking about a couple of things that you can do if you're looking to purchase art in an affordable way. The first is to find an artist when they're early in their career. If they haven't built up a reputation yet, it's likely that their price is going to be much, much lower. Also, if they're not yet with a gallery, they'll be able to keep their prices lower and keep more of the money themselves, which makes it more affordable for you. The way to find these sorts of artists is to go to places like art fairs, where you get much more of a spread of people throughout their careers, as well as looking through social media on places like Instagram and on platforms like Saatchi Art. I'm also going to be showcasing artists who are early in their career on this channel, so hopefully you'll be able to find a few of them through here. The other thing you can do if you want to make buying art more affordable is to take advantage of galleries who are doing 0% interest payment schemes. This means that you could buy a £3,000 painting but pay it off over regular monthly instalments of just £250 over a year. This is a really good affordable way for you to start building your collection of art at home, and most good galleries will offer it. The last thing I want to leave you with is to remember that when you're buying an artwork, you're supporting a chain of small businesses, whether it's the artist or the gallery, the framers or the specialist delivery companies. These are all small businesses that survive specifically from the art world, and at the moment all of them being hit hard. So remember that your purchase will help support those small businesses and their families, which is pretty great. Some of them even have small babies to look after. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this week's video. It's a bit of a different one, but I hope you found it interesting. If you did, don't forget to comment below and let me know what you think and drop the video a like. I really appreciate all the views and support I've been getting over the last couple of weeks. It means a lot. So thanks very much. I will see you next week. Hello?
Listen carefully. If you do exactly as I say, no one will get hurt.
Okay.
I want the codes.
Right, and what codes would that be?
You know the codes.
I'm afraid I don't.
I want the codes to get 10% off my first order for Jackson's Art Supplies.
Oh, you don't need code, you just need to use the link in the description below.
There's no code?
No.
Oh. Okay. Well, what should I buy?
Why don't you look in my Amazon store for inspiration?
Right. Thanks.
No problem, and don't forget to like, subscribe and join my mailing list.
Yeah.
I wonder who that was.